Hi YouTube, TechMaster here. Today I wanted to do a video to help people pick out compatible computer parts. I got this from Newegg. I put this together in Photoshop. This is the Intel page, this section here, and this is the form factors of the different computer cases that they sell on Newegg. So we'll match them up. The way this works is the ATX motherboard will fit either in the full tower or the mid tower. Either one of these will work for the ATX. So say you bought either one of these two towers, you click this button and it would instantly show you a page with all ATX motherboards. Say you bought a micro ATX, so you would go click the micro ATX button and it would show you everything on that page would be a micro ATX motherboard that would fit in this computer case. Now let's go to Newegg here. Here we are. Okay, I have chosen AMD motherboards. They each have form factors, so you can match up the computer cases. I'll show you where it's at. Here's the AMD form factor. That's all their form factors, so you would have a computer case with each one of these. Do not mess with the extended ATX. I read on Google and it says it fits with a lot of them, but some of them are not compatible even though it says ATX. And it's a special type of motherboard. It's like a new technology, it says, so I would kind of stay away from the extended ATX. But you have your full and mid tower ATX here, and your micro ATX here, and then your ITX, which go back to the picture. There's your ITX tower. If you were to buy an ITX mini tower, here would be the ITX mini tower here, and that's the motherboard that would fit in that case there. Now that pretty much covers the form factors. This is the AMD form factor page. Let me go show you real quick how to get to the Intel. So you would go to Motherboards, then you would choose Intel Motherboards this time, and then you go to its form factor page, which is usually at the bottom. There it is. You show more. This is Intel's side of the form factors, and that's the main ones: ITX mini, micro ATX, and the ATX for the full or mid tower. Now we want to look at the CPUs. What kind of CPU? How do you know what processor will fit inside these motherboards? So you can look up here. Anything that says LGA is an Intel. It's better if I go and show you that. So now we'll go to CPUs and processors, and then desktop processors. Now we'll find the socket types. CPU socket types, show more. Here's the AMD motherboards, so you'll choose a AMD CPU, which is all these that would fit in your AMD motherboard. If you choose an Intel motherboard, they'll have land grid array, LGA. All these are the Intel CPUs that would fit in the Intel motherboards. So let's go back to motherboards. I'm doing this so you can get the concept down in your mind. Okay, let's choose AMD motherboards. Alright, let me see where we're at here. This socket type is the AM3 Plus motherboard. So let's click it and add to cart. Remember, this is what you got to remember if you're going to pick out a CPU. The socket type is AM3 Plus. So add to cart. Alright, now we'll go to CPUs, desktop processors, and then now we'll go down to the socket types, open them up, and AM3 Plus. Here's your AMD, so you would select that. AM3 Plus. This is the CPU that would fit inside the motherboard that we just put in our cart. So we'll click that and add it to our cart. I'm not actually buying anything, so it doesn't matter. Now we'll go pick out a Intel motherboard. So back to motherboards. We'll click on Intel. Alright, everything here will be an Intel. Have an LGA right here. And they'll have different types of LGAs. LGA. As you can see, 1150 is like the most common. Everything here is a 1150 LGA. LGA. See here? Here's a like a normal type. Got a 2011. So ASUS 2011. Alright, LGA 2011. Let's add that motherboard. Now we'll go pick out a CPU for it. So we'll go to CPUs. Remember, it's LGA 2011. Desktop processors. Socket types. Now let's look for it. LGA 2011. So we'll click that. Everything on this page will fit that motherboard that we've just added to the cart. LGA 2011. These are all LGA 2011s. So I could get an i7 since I'm not really paying for it. Sky's the limit. Now let's click our cart. If it will load. Alright. Here we go. There's our LGA 2011. And here's our motherboard, LGA 2011. So we know that this Intel CPU fits in this Intel motherboard. Here you got your AMD motherboard with the AM3 Plus, your AMD CPU processor with the AM3 Plus. And just practice with these. It took me a while to get the concept down in my head, but once you've got it, it's not that hard at all. Let me go back to the motherboard list. Motherboard list is very interesting. See, we'll just click on Intel for this one. And you can go down the list and pick out what kind of motherboard you want. Like, we already did the socket types. I explained that. You can click the name brand of the manufacturer and it would show only the ASUS, only the Gigabyte, only the ASRock, and so on and so on. If you just wanted to look at ASUS's, you would click that and it would show you a page with only ASUS's motherboards. And then this is the chipsets. Chipsets are built-in video cards, built-in sound cards. You know, I don't know if they have built-in Wi-Fi. Are not into the chipsets yet, but that's a chipset. PCI Express, it will leave you more slots available for something else that you want to put. Here's the CPU types. You can choose all i7s if you want. You can even show more. There's a lot of different ones. i7s, i5s, i3s. Your form factor, we already did that. How many PCI Express slots you want on your motherboard? Well, you can fit up to 7. Remember, the higher the number goes, the more expensive it's going to be. Number of memory slots. Now this was good. Maximum memory supported. You can buy a motherboard that would support 64 gigs of RAM. And I clicked on this one and it has 2 CPU processor. You have to use 2 processors for that motherboard. It must be insanely fast. Or so on and so on. Mine is a 16 gigabyte and I have it maxed out. So that, like, if you only wanted to buy motherboards that support 16, you would click this and it will only show you a page that supports 16 gigabytes. Or so on and so on. and that's like the major ones you'd want to look at. Where's the USB 3. How many ports do you want sticking out of the back or in the front? You know, they'll be divided. USB 3, which is way faster than USB 2.0. It's USB 3.0. If you click this one, it would show you a page with nothing but USB 3.0. You would have 8 ports. You could hook up 8, but it's going to be very expensive for that one. The most I've seen is like 2 and 4. That's the most common, and this is like the more uncommon. Wireless lane. This is the speeds. You can pick out the different wireless. This will be a chipset built in, I'm guessing, or a slot that you could put a memory card into. Onboard video chipset, and on and on and on. It goes down, 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 down. So I hope this video helped out, and if you liked the video, leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.